Khamzat Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker has just wrapped up on UFC 308, and what a dominant performance. Khamzat Chimaev in that first round barely strikes with Robert Whittaker, which we knew he was going to shoot early. He gets him down in like the first 30 seconds of the fight, and Robert Whittaker does a good job of defending for a while, but Khamzat was just non-stop attacking, looking for submissions, advancing positions, and eventually he just locks up the rear neck a choke, and Robert Whittaker instantly taps to it. Khamzat Chimaev gets the job done via first round finish, a very dominant performance and an easy win for him. Khamzat is no joke in the first round.
A fight near you! Khamzat Chimaev is that good!
You just submitted Robert Whittaker in the first round. That was an amazing performance.
Yeah, man. I'm going for the belt. That guy is... Thanks, bro. I love you, my brother. You've been always picture for me. You're a legend. Well, respect, he took the fight. He fight with me, man. No one wants to fight with me. All the champions running from me.
It's like, you know.
Oh, look at that.
It's on the. He's tapping.
He tapped already?
Wow.
That was weird. That was weird.
God.
That was weird.
The first round stuff.
It wasn't even around his neck.
Hey, here's the thing. You probably give him the title shot, yeah? You finish Whittaker in the first round.
You give him the title shot.
Right?
You give him the title shot.
This probably fucks up DDP Strickland.
I gotta see
just
that.
finished
It wasn't
Whittaker?
even around his neck. It wasn't even around his neck.
Finished Whittaker?
Real
He tapped quick.
Dude.
Let's see what happened.
It looked like it was around his
I think he
chin.
got his chin. He was breaking his chin. That's what it looks like. He was just.
Yeah, because he just opened his mouth.
You don't want to have your.
Yep.
That hurts.
He just opened his mouth funny. We'll get a look at it in the.
I mean, I
replay.
could be wrong. Maybe it was around his neck.
It
Maybe
looked like
I'm
it was
wrong.
around his
I
face.
think it was
right,
around his jaw.
Yeah.
I think he's breaking his jaw.
Yep.
Because
Usually
Robert was
when
doing
you-
something with his jaw. He was like, open his mouth.
And
funny.
usually when you, I mean, you could tap somebody if you have a good enough squeeze around the jaw, but it takes a few seconds.
But what if he broke
It
it?
isn't like some
your-
instant
if your
shit.
mouth
Right,
is
but what
open.
if it snapped?
He was tapping
Here we
so
go, here we
fast.
go.
It hurts. Look at the
Let's see what it
shot.
looks like.
Whoosh. From
damn.
downtown, too.
He's
He
so
shot so
fast.
far out.
Once he gets a hold of you, it's so dangerous.
He just needs to get his paws
Okay, here we
in.
go. Here we go, right here. Right. See, it's around the mouth.
That's around
He
the mouth.
tapped
That's around the
quick.
jaw.
That was
around the
weird.
That's around the jaw. He's about
Let's
to
see it
break his
again.
jaw.
Look,
Usually
look.
usually that takes time.
That was a very
You know what? It
fast-
was
I
a
think he
neck
broke
crank.
his jaw.
You know what? It was
I
like a
think he-
neck crank.
I think that too, but I think he might have broke his jaw.
Yeah, it was, as fast as he tapped, too.
I've prepared. I've tried. I know it's different.
That person was right, though. You do not have guys who can do that.
Sure. But like he's definitely has been preparing for this. Oh, he tapped
immediately.
Immediately.
Oh, my God.
Khamzat Chimaev,
Oh,
round
my God.
1. Wow, throws the mouthpiece.
Oh, my God.
Complete domination.
That's the
title
champ.
shot.
That's the champ.
Complete domination title
That's the
shot.
champion.
Round
That's the
1.
champion of this division.
Round 1, Khamzat Chimaev. Wow.
That dude is absolutely different than everybody else.
Didn't let Whittaker have any moment the entire time.
Nothing. This is the thing about Khamzat.
Yeah, so as I was saying, decisive. As I was saying, it was going to be decisive. It was going to be one-sided.
We have to see what
I just got
happened
the
here.
guy wrong, apparently.
Okay, so he has it under the chin. Oh, and he
Okay,
just
yes.
wow.
Yes, he frantically tapped there.
The strength.
This is a y'all must have forgot moment for Khamzat Chimaev
Yeah,
because
I
let's
think
be
so.
honest, everyone was saying, okay, maybe he isn't as good as we thought he was in 2020. This is his best performance since that actually three, the Gerald Mearshart fight as well. 3-fight stretch in about a month and a half in 2020. This is the guy that we all thought was going to be a champion by the end of 2021. This is the guy. And if I'm a middleweight right now, I'm like, holy shit.
We had the Holland one, but the Holland one was like the short notice. Everybody knows what Kevin Holland's deficiency was. That didn't really like change that. Then you get the Burns. Then you get the Kamaru Usman, where there start to be questions like, what's his gas tank? Can he finish these guys? Also, those are welterweights. This puts no doubt.
No, that was incredible. That was. I mean,
wow.
And that's because I have so much respect for Robert Whittaker. To do that to Robert Whittaker at this stage of his career,
13. He's ranked 13 in this division.
Insane. I mean, he's at least top 3 now. I feel like he has to get winner of Strickland.
Jan Blachowicz expressed his hope that the fight would happen, noting that with Khamzat Chimaev, you never know since he often doesn't make it to fights. He mentioned that he would keep his fingers crossed for Chimaev, acknowledging that it would be a tough match. When asked if he thought Chimaev would win, Blachowicz said he hoped so, believing Chimaev had what it takes. However, he also recognized that Chimaev would face a tough challenge in Blachowicz, making it a difficult fight.
It's gonna be, I hope so this fight's gonna happen, because with Chimaev you never know. He is always very good, but he always not go to the fights. So we will see, but I'm gonna keep my fingers for for Whittaker. But it's gonna be tough fight for him.
Well, do you think he wins though?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so, and he got everything to win this fight. But also Chimaev is also very tough and good fighter, so it's gonna be very tough. But I believe that he can.
Robert Whittaker vowed to match Khamzat Chimaev's pace. He expressed confidence in his ability to keep up with Chimaev's intensity and speed, emphasizing that he would be ready for whatever challenges the fight may bring. I am expecting him to come out hard and aggressive from the first second to the last, Whittaker told MMA Junkie and other reporters at Wednesday's UFC 308 Media Day. And I have prepared accordingly for that. I've prepared for the hardest fight of my life. To start extremely hard, like sprinting for the first 5 to 10 minutes, but also drag it out the 5 rounds. I'm ready to sprint for 25 minutes if so, and I'm coming for war. Chimaev said that Whittaker knew how to lose, but he didn't. While that statement might have been true, Whittaker took it as motivation. He remained focused on proving himself in the fight and used Chimaev's words to fuel his determination. Experience, Whittaker answered on what makes him different from Chimaev's prior opponents. I'm good at what I do. I'm a different fighter than he's fought before, and I guess maybe the fact that I know how to lose, it gives me strength. It gives me a reason why I don't like being there, why I don't want that to be my reality. It sucks. So I'm going to go out there and give him a taste of it. John Wood believed that if Khamzat Chimaev couldn't finish Robert Whittaker in the first 2 rounds, he would be in trouble. He described Whittaker as one of the best fighters in the world and praised his mentality, stating that he hadn't seen Whittaker deteriorate. Wood thought Chimaev could struggle to maintain his pace over 5 rounds. When asked about the fight's outcome, he favored Whittaker, believing he could survive early and either win by decision or achieve a late finish.
I think if he can't get him out of there in the first 2, he's in deep trouble. Whittaker is a stud. He's an OG now, and that dude, until I see him deteriorate and his game start to drop, I think he's one of the best in the world. He's actually one of my favorite fighters to watch, and I think that he's got the mentality to be able to break Chimaev. I don't think that I don't think that he can submit Whittaker, but the dude's a monster on the ground, so that's always one of those things that he just comes out and goes 110% out of the gate. But a 5-round fight with Robert Whittaker, I don't see him getting that.
What do you think is more likely? Do you think Whittaker can survive early and get a decision or get a late finish on Chimaev, or do you think Chimaev can take him out early?
I take Whittaker in that one.
In a recent video shared on his Instagram account, Chael Sonnen provided an interesting analysis of the Robert Whittaker versus Khamzat Chimaev matchup. He said, Robert Whittaker is a son of a buck to take down, ask Yoel Romero. For 10 rounds, he got Bobby Knuckles down twice. The likelihood of him, Chimaev, getting it down over and over and round after round, guys, it really is very small, and what happens then? Sonnen's comment implied that if Chimaev couldn't control Whittaker on the ground, he would have no choice but to stand and trade blows, which could have made things interesting. He further stated that Whittaker's striking skills and experience could have given him the edge in a firefight, emphasizing the importance for Chimaev to establish his grappling early. He further added, well, Chimaev got into fisticuffs with Burns, and it turned out to do some things we didn't know he could do. Burns hurt him one time. Chimaev got those legs back under him and started returning fire. I mean, it turned into a dogfight. Mayron Santos stated that it was a close fight and confirmed it was a 5-round matchup. He predicted that Robert Whittaker would win, noting that Khamzat Chimaev typically went all out in the first 2 rounds, but faded as the fight progressed. Santos emphasized Whittaker's good cardio and believed he could secure a TKO in the 4th or 5th round, ultimately choosing Whittaker for the victory.
Another very close fight, but it's a 5-round fight, right?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Yeah, I think Robert's gonna win. We know Chimaev likes to go with everything the first and 2nd round, and then he fades a little bit, get tired. And Robert doesn't. He has a good cardio, so I think he's gonna get this done. Maybe a TKO in the 4th, 5th round, but I'm gonna have Robert for this one.
Israel Adesanya, the former middleweight king who faced the Reaper twice, shared his thoughts on his YouTube channel. Rob is just a guy not to be fuck with. Rob will do it again. I just think he'll catch Khamzat later on, but he has to weather the storm. I'm gonna go Rob with the late finish, round 4. Khamzat Chimaev might not have had the experience of Robert Whittaker, but in that case, he thought a lack of knowledge could be power. He knows how to lose, we don't know, so I'm ready for victory, Chimaev said at UFC 308 Media Day on Wednesday. Youssef Zalal believed that Whittaker would win the fight, stating that people were sleeping on him. He noted that Whittaker was always present and consistently performed well. Zalal acknowledged that Chimaev was coming in with a lot of heat and tension, but ultimately decided to go with Whittaker for the victory.
Bro, I think people sleeping on Whittaker, man. Whittaker is that guy that's always there. It's like he's always there, and he's good, man. He's really good. So I obviously comes out coming in with a lot of heat and tension. So I'm gonna go with Whittaker. I'm gonna go with Whittaker.
While Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria was the main attraction at UFC 308, Whittaker versus Chimaev was arguably the second toughest fight to predict. However, that didn't stop Holloway from weighing in. Holloway picked Whittaker to defeat Chimaev in the UFC 308 co-main event. I think Robert Whittaker is a beast, Holloway said of Whittaker. His IQ is high, he's smart. I'm rolling with Robert Whittaker all the way. Even if you watch the Kamaru Usman fight against Khamzat, when Kamaru wrestled back with him, that's how Kamaru lost. When Kamaru decided to be like, I'm not going to wrestle this, I'm going to 2-1 him with the hands, push his head to the ground and not wrestle back, control, hand fighting and get away, push him off, he actually got away. He further added, so one of the best guys that can hand fight and can wrestle is Robert Whittaker, just because his striking is so damn good and that's what he does. It's a 5-rounder, we've seen Khamzat get tired in 3 rounds. He should be training for 5 rounds, we all know, but it's still his first one. Robert's been fighting 5 rounds forever, that guy is just a vet, a legend, an OG of the sport. I think if he goes out there with that anti-wrestling mindset and doesn't get held down too much, I think he can land something big. Tim Welch noted that the fight between Robert Whittaker and Khamzat Chimaev was 5 rounds, which he considered significant. He mentioned that if it were a 3-round fight, he might have thought differently. Welch pointed out that Chimaev often sprinted at opponents and used a lot of energy, expressing curiosity about how he would pace himself. He suggested that if Chimaev remained reckless, he would either finish Whittaker early or gas out, and likely get TKO'd. Ultimately, Welch stated that if he had to put money on it, he would choose Robert Whittaker to win.
Yeah, Robert Whittaker, Khamzat, it's 5 rounds, right? I think that's the big thing. If it was 3 rounds, I'd probably think a little bit different. But 5 rounds, it makes the fight so much different. Khamzat's used to just sprinting at people, overpowering them, body locking them, using a ton of energy. But I'm really curious to how he comes out in 5 rounds. Is he going to be able to pace himself? Because he comes out and B's reckless, he's either going to finish him in the first or second, or he's going to gas out and probably get TKO'd.
What do you think's more likely? Who do you think wins?
If I had to put money on it, I'd think Robert Whittaker wins.
Bilal Muhammad has been closely following the upcoming UFC 308 matchup between Robert Whittaker and Khamzat Chimaev. When asked for his opinion on the fight, he quickly expressed his support for Chimaev. With his wrestling background, Muhammad believed that Chimaev's grappling and ground game would give him the advantage, making it difficult for Whittaker to cope with the pressure. I'm just hoping that they make it a fight day, right? That's one of those fights I can't wait for it to come, and then to know that it's a week away. It's huge. But for myself, I think I got Khamzat taking him down. In his prediction, Bilal highlighted Whittaker's most recent fight against Dricus du Plessis, where Whittaker was taken down, emphasizing potential weaknesses in his defense. Muhammad believed that Chimaev, with his superior wrestling and submission skills, would capitalize on these weaknesses and dictate the pace of the fight.
That's an interesting fight. What's your perspective on that one? Who do you think is going to get it done?
Yeah, honestly, like I'm just hoping that they make it to fight day, right? That's one of those fights I can't wait for it to come, and to know that it's a week away is it's huge. But for myself, I think I got Khamzat taking him down. I don't know. I have him by submission. We've seen Whittaker get taken down by du Plessis with like a headlock, and Khamzat's wrestling is so good. To see how dominant he has been with wrestling, I think he's going to go in there and do the same exact thing to Whittaker.
UFC Hall of Famer George St. Pierre offered an insightful analysis of the matchup between Robert Whittaker and Khamzat Chimaev, suggesting that Whittaker had the unique style necessary to counter Chimaev's strengths. St. Pierre drew parallels between Chimaev and his former opponent Yoel Romero, emphasizing Whittaker's historical success against explosive wrestlers. Well, if there is a guy that can stop Chimaev, it's Robert Whittaker, St. Pierre said. He also noted, because if you look at Chimaev, he has we can compare it in a way to Yoel Romero. Romero was a very good wrestler, a very explosive and powerful guy, and Whittaker was the kryptonite of Yoel Romero. He was able to beat him twice, so stylistically he's very capable of doing the same to Chimaev to make Chimaev look bad. Robert Whittaker has a very unusual style. He's from a karate background like I do. As excitement grew for the fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Robert Whittaker, Anthony Smith provided his insights on the matchup. He expressed admiration for Chimaev, but also raised concerns about his stamina in longer fights. Drawing from his experience as a seasoned fighter, Smith delivered a critical analysis of Chimaev's skills and highlighted potential weaknesses that Whittaker could exploit during the bout.
I'm a real big believer in Khamzat. I really am. I think the guy's incredible. But if we're just being critical, first round, I think Khamzat can beat anybody across any weight class. I don't give a shit who it is. Anybody in the world he can beat in the first round.
The UFC 308 co-main event was broken down by interim heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall on the TNT Sports YouTube channel. He described Chimaev as a berserker before giving thoughts on Borza's long-awaited return fight. He's just a berserker mainly. He just goes for it. He's very good with the boxing, and he's 6'2" as well, which is very tall for the division. But what we see him do really well is faking the takedown and coming over the top. He's got very heavy hands for his size. He added, he's an absolute berserker who will just fly in and take you down. A lot of time it's done with a lot of speed and athleticism. He'll play with his opponents, keeps the pressure on, and keeps breaking his opponents down. Chimaev's fights were likened to a sprint by Aspinall, noting that the judges' scorecards had only been reached twice during his professional career, including in his most recent fight against Kamaru Usman in October 2023. He said, "This is an extremely interesting fight, especially with the recent form that Whittaker's been on and how active he's been, but that can sometimes work against you. Back-to-back training camps can take a toll on your body, so it's going to be interesting to see how both of them look." Grant Dawson picked Robert Whittaker to win, stating that people were underestimating the impact of the 5-round format. He argued that while Chimaev might win 2 rounds in a 3-round fight, he believed Whittaker would outlast him in the later rounds. Dawson referenced Chimaev's previous fight against Usman, which he thought Chimaev lost, and suggested that Whittaker's pace would be too much for Chimaev. He concluded by recommending that anyone interested in betting should wager heavily on Whittaker.
If this was a 3-round fight, you could convince me that Khamzat was going to win this fight. Win 2, lose 1. I think he's going to be up by 1 big, and then he's gonna lose 2, 3, 4, and 5. You know, maybe he wins 2. Maybe he's got the gas tank to win 2. I just don't think he can keep up with Robert Whittaker's pace. We saw him, in my opinion, he lost to Usman, who we fought him on like a week's notice or some crap like that, up a weight class. So for me, this is a pretty easy win for Robert Whittaker. And I'm a financial advisor, but if you're into betting, I would bet heavy on Robert.
As additional UFC fighters shared their thoughts on the upcoming showdown between Robert Whittaker and Khamzat Chimaev, rising lightweight contender Arman Tsarukyan made a bold prediction about Whittaker's ability to excel in the middleweight division. Recognized for his own versatile skills and strategic thinking, Tsarukyan's insights showcased the respect many fighters had for Whittaker's talents and the significance a victory over Chimaev could hold for his career. Arman Tsarukyan said, "He's in shape and, yeah, for sure I believe he's going to win Robert Whittaker, and after that fight, he can fight for the title. He's going to be a champion for sure." So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about this tremendous night? And which fighter have you supported? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also, check our other videos.